2nd of March 2023, a day that will not come back after it goes today. Well, let me start the show properly by saying my very good morning. Welcome to the Sports Beat Show on radio. Let's check out the top stories. Come with me. Okay, from the top stories this morning, England and Chelsea defender Ben Chilwell wants end to stigma around getting help with mental health. Final decision of Antonio Conte's future as Tottenham head coach is yet to be made. Potential buyers for Manchester United finalizing revised offers ahead of 9 p.m. deadline. They talk about the UK time. Crystal Palace reappointed Roy Hodgson as manager on deal to end of the season. Arsenal defender Takahiro Tomiyasu to miss out of the rest of the season after surgery on knee injured on Thursday. Arsenal beaten 1-0 by Bayern Munich in first leg of Women's Champions League quarter-final. My name is Kizike, I'm the voice of the mic. Let's start the show from our local news. More of the Super Eagles. We know what's going to happen on Friday. It's going to be a very, very wonderful tie again where we play against, the Guinea-Bissau. So what's going on in the camp right now? Well, I think I've got the bad news on one side. I don't think I love what I saw, but no doubt, we have to bring it back on the radio. But if I should say on that very scenario, I should say we've gone past that level. We've gone past that level. So 23 Eagles in camp fire against Guinea-Bissau on Friday and March 27. All the 23 Super Eagles players invited for the double-header has arrived after Napoli Victor Osimhen and Porto left-back Seydou Sanusi hit the camp on Tuesday night. The Eagles are scheduled to play in the Jotels in a two-leg affairs as the bid to book their place in the 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast next year. The first leg holds at the Mesut International Stadium in Abuja on March 24th before the Super Eagles travel to Guinea for the second leg on March 27th. On Monday, the Eagles media team confirmed that 16 players were in camp ahead of the encounter. Kevin Akpoko, Major Aribo, Kelechi Iheanacho, Ademola Lookman, Alex Iwobi, Simi Ajayi, Francis Uzoho, Kingsley Anigboso, Wilfred Ndidi, Daniel Bamaji, Kenneth Omero, Frank Onyeka, Moses Simon, Bright Osayi, Samuel, Ahmed Musa, and Paul Onuachu all took part in the first training session on Monday evening. The arrival of Victor Osimhen, Sanusi, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Sochima, Bruno Oyemechi, Calvin Bassey, and Terry Murphy on Tuesday took the number of players in camp to 23. So this one is tagged National Disgrace as Super Eagles players. The headline doesn't make sense for me. Okay, let's move on to talk about the story. Super Eagles players after their training session at the Mesut Stadium are being forced to train in darkness, according to reports. When the team arrived at the stadium at 4:45 p.m. on Monday, the stadium saw, or cameras were caught on these guys. We saw the players coming down from a 32-seater coaster bus. The players sluggishly entered the pitch and trained for 2 hours. They were taken back to the hotel with the coaster bus. The same that was on duty when Flying Eagles, who won bronze as just concluded on the 20 African Cup of Nations in Egypt, were in camp in Abuja. When the issue was raised by one of the foreign-based players on Monday, one of the team officials promised to get one of the 2 official team buses ready for Tuesday, but alas, none of the buses were available, so the 32-seater coaster bus was again called up to home and to take these guys back to their hotel. So wondering why Super Eagles bus was not used, So it was meant to be 2 used, but just 1 was used. And funny to say, 2 official Super Eagles buses parked at the entrance of the Package A of Mesut Stadium when he by Sani Lulu led NFF board then. As if that was not enough, Super Eagles head coach Joseph Pesero could not complete his tactical training on Tuesday night as the stadium light the stadium light failed to come on. That's bad. The team had to train in the last 25 minutes in total darkness and was forced to abandon their training facilities, training using their phone torchlight to run and squeeze themselves inside a small bus. That's not good enough. Maybe I've got a technician to go do that job for them. But truth be told, I don't elsewhere 3 goalkeepers trained for just an hour of the fateful night. The training started by 6 p.m. and was forced to end at 7 p.m. when they could no longer see anything. Some of the players who could not hide their displeasure complained bitterly over the inconveniences they were going through while returning back to the hotel. Group A table toppers Nigeria will trade tackle with Guinea-Bissau on Friday at 5 p.m. in 2023 AFCON qualifiers, while the second leg holds on Tuesday. I cannot jump this story without talking about it. This is very bad. I mean, this is, I don't know, we've gone past this. First of all, starting from the national stadium right there in Abuja, Mesut Midfielder Stadium. I don't know. When are we going to see this stop happening? This is not right. These guys are foreign-based players. No much respect to say because they are away. They are home. We know what we can do. We know what we've been, how good and how well we've been. But for the fact that talk about facilities, talk about training light, couldn't come up, they can't even train. So, and also on the bus part now, you can imagine the Super Eagles players, and that same bus was used for the under-20s that just concluded the tournament in Egypt, in Cairo. And now what's the problem now? No, I don't think so. So I'm not surprised to see some of the players complaining about this. This doesn't sound good. It's a very bad one. Also the light, the pitch. We chose to use the Mesut Midfielder International Stadium right in Abuja. And the players are complaining, we can't even train, less training time. Joseph Peseiro, the Portuguese man, also would not be happy about this. But what about the players who have come all the way? When I use the word all the way, it doesn't mean it's much like a hype. But they believe on the outside that coming back, even if we're going to have issues on the pitch, not about the light for training, no. Okay, I might not go into details about this one. Salisu Yusuf disgraced Nigeria with list of foreign-based players called up to Nigeria under 23. I was just going to talk about these players, the names, Success Makonjola, Bello, Babatunde. Okay, Makonjola plays for FK Lepaja Latvia. Bello Babatunde plays for Future FC in Egypt, and also Isaiah AJ plays for Jabe Alf Dakapal, Sweden. Abiodun Okunneyi plays for Oda Latvia as well. Musuru Okpeyemi Abdullahi plays for Vizela in Portugal. I mean, just 16 of these guys. I just can't keep calling their names because of the time frame. But what about this now? 16 guys. Okay, some players, maybe we want to have a mixed squad, to have the young guys join the senior players to play the game, to make things work out, maybe to get to play with the big guys. On that part, first of all, speculations are also ongoing why some of this on the 20 guys who need to go through a process, possibly under 23, then get to the national team, to play with the big boys, no doubt. But I'm not talking about that. That's not my own say. Now, we want to having home-based players to join the Super Eagles, but off late now, those home-based players brought in by Salisu Yusuf, checking on them, they were just over age. Do you understand? So that's what they say. How do they say it again? They say the football age. And now what he had to do, he had to go to Europe to get in 16 players. And funny enough about the 16 players, they're all fighting very hard to get the starting lineup in their fellow clubs. That's bad. So I don't know. I think a whole lot need to be checked out in that very one, but let's just go and play that game first of all and come out strong. I mean, that's not what we should be talking about now. But these are just some of the things that bring down a team. It brings down a team. It makes the team look very shambolic. Joining the team now because of the guys who were meant to be in the team, the home base. Checking out these guys, they are over age. So a player is telling you, I'm 22. Yeah, I'm 22. And you're checking out the real value and you're saying 29 or you're saying possibly early 30s. There's no way this works. It doesn't work anyway. I mean, it doesn't feel just 1 to age, like 1 or 21 and you're 23, you're taking 21 maybe. And you're not God, we can't say, but that's just wrong. Away from the Super Eagles news. I mean, I can't get stuck here. I'm not happy talking about this. Seen as manager on deal to end of the season. Hudson returns to Crystal Palace less than 2 years after ending 4-year spell at Selhurst Park. Hudson will break his own record for oldest Premier League manager next month at the age of 75. Interim boss Paddy McCarthy to take up the talking about Hodgson. He said, "It's a privilege to be asked to return to the club, which has always meant so much to me. Our sole objective is to start winning and get the points to ensure our Premier League status. Final decision on Antonio Conte's future as Tottenham head coach yet to be made." Conte questioned commitment of squad in the 3-3 draw at Southampton, accusing them of playing for themselves. Tottenham midfielder Pierre Højbjerg calls on Antonio Conte to be more precise in criticizing the squad. So the dance man, talk about Højbjerg. He said this, we've all seen it. He gave a very honest and open conference because he's not happy. I think he has to elaborate on how he feels before you as a player can start measuring. I know if you want to succeed as a team, you need 11-man commitment to a project and culture. But if you have to be a little more precise in order for a player to take it to heart. And that's Højbjerg the dance. He said, but you have to be a little more precise in order for a player to take it to heart. So Antonio Conte, like I said yesterday, is not in England. He's not in the North London side. He's currently interim with his family. He traveled with a private jet back to home. Potential buyers for United finalizing revised offer ahead of 9 p.m. deadline day. Talk about Wednesday, and that time is UK time. More than 5 bids expected to be made for Man United before deadline for second offers. Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe to make higher second bid during visit to buy the club. So talk about still the Premier League. Manchester City, Erling Haaland withdraws from Norway's squad after injuring groin in the FA Cup quarterfinals. Haaland to return to City and be assessed ahead of match with Liverpool on April 1st. Arsenal defender Tomiyasu Takehiro, the Japanese guy, former player for Bologna. Tomiyasu Takehiro is the name, to miss the rest of the season after surgery on knee injured on Thursday. And also Wolves midfielder Matheus Nunes avoid 3-game ban after successful appeal for wrongful dismissal. In Europe, Kylian Mbappe, new France captain to succeed Hugo Lloris following international retirement. And also Kevin De Bruyne named new Belgium captain following retirement of Eden Hazard. In the La Liga Saturday, Sevilla are 2 points above relegation places. Sevilla have 2 games after international break before playing Man United in Europa League last 8. So in the MLS, Arsenal announced about the boxing world. Fraser Clark to fight Bojan Dino in Manchester on Saturday after Ryder Booker withdraws due to illness. In the world of tennis, 18-time Grand Slam champion Martina Navratilova says doctors have told her she's cancer-free. Navratilova treated for throat and breast cancer and is nearing completion of radiation therapy. In the world of golf, world number 1 Scotty Scheffler grouped with Tom Kim, Alex Noren and Davis Riley at WGC Bell match play. Rory McIlroy to face 2016 Olympic gold medalist Maddie Hinch retires from sports following the 7-1 appearances for Team GB. Talking NBA, legendary New York Knicks center and Hall of Famer Willis Reed toured NBA titles in 1970 and 1973 and was named final most valuable player both times. San Antonio Spurs, let's talk about the results. Got 84, New Orleans Pelicans 118, Washington Wizards 112, Orlando Magic 122. And you know, like how I want to do on the show every time, talking about, when a man is out of the game. So talking about legendary New York Knicks center and Hall of Famer Willis Reed, who died at 80. And if there's any sportsmanship record or sportsmanship results that we give to those persons or these personalities who have done so well immensely to the game, talking about sports in general. And this is what we do. Rest in peace is all I can say. Okay, let me see how I can quickly bring this one. Chelsea defender Ben Chilwell. Sometimes I'll talk about mental health. You just have to talk to someone, say something to someone. You just might not know. You might be going down. The former Leicester City defender, £50 million it cost Chelsea to get him back to Stamford Bridge, or to get him to Stamford Bridge now. He's a current player for Chelsea, and this is what he's got to say.
Few years now, and I think the stigma around it is silly, really, especially with men in football in particular. I think, as myself, someone that has been talking to someone for a few years now, and just the way that it's helped me, I think it can definitely help everyone. And like I said, just the stigma around it is something that is potentially needs to go.
Was the World Cup another challenge for you in that regard?
It's a different kind of challenge because the Euros I was there, the World Cup obviously wasn't there, so it's a different kind of challenge that you have to embrace. It kind of gets sprung on you, so you don't have much time to adapt. And like I said, I think the main thing that I tried to help myself with was how I could turn that situation into a positive, and that was what kind of got me through that time, was just working on myself, as a footballer, as a person, kind of just